Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome all of you to this Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call for the mid-morning session of Sri Caitanya Bhagavata. So, Vancha Kalpatarupasha, Kripa Sindhu Payavacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrindike Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So, before moving on to the call, let me know who are all present on the call today.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada, this is Vilasini Devi Dasi from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much for your warm welcoming, Mataji, and thank you, dear Anjana Govika Mataji, for that very beautiful recitation of the Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Vilasini Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. And thank you so much, Anjana Gopika Mataji, for reciting the Bhagavad Gita verses very nicely. Anyone else who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danat Pranam. This is Anjana Gopika Devi.
Hare Krishna, Anjana Gopika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna, and thank you so much once again for BG recitation.
Hare Krishna, Anitha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, this is Bharavata.
Hare Krishna. Where is mother and daughter running? I don't know. Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, and Hare Krishna, Balavranda. Please accept my humble obeisances, both of you. Welcome to the call, both of you. Hare Bol. Thank you so much for joining. Anyone else who would like to introduce?
Hare Krishna, Anitha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Guru Maharaj. This is Chinmayi Vrajapriya Devi Dasi.
Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. And thank you so much for today's class, which we will be giving. We are very eager to hear from you with so many stories and so many pastimes. Each time when you come, you give us very nice memories of the pastimes, Mataji. Very well. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. All glories to Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees.
Hare Krishna. Song.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. So glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Kirtidas in Dewas.
Hare Krishna, Kirtidas Sundari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I once again welcome all of you to this Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. So today we will be moving on to our next session, that is Sri Caitanya Bhagavata. But before moving on to the session, I would like to read Prabhupada's quote for May 28 today. Krishna, I cannot find the quote. Yeah. So for 28 May, Prabhupada has written a letter to Hare Nama in 1968. For offering prasadam, simply prayers to the spiritual master is sufficient. The process is that everything is offered to the spiritual master, and the spiritual master is supposed to offer the same foodstuff to the Lord. Therefore, simply by chanting the prayer to the spiritual master, everything will be complete. Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. That is a very beautiful quote of Srila Prabhupada. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, I once again welcome all of you to this Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call for the mid-morning session of Sri Caitanya Bhagavata, which will be given by Her Grace Chinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji on Madhya Khanda, chapter 26, verses from 99 to 125. Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna Chinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving us your valuable time. And we are eagerly waiting for your class, Mataji. Over to you. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Anitha Mataji. Thank you for your warm welcome. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I seek blessings at the lotus feet of all the assembled Vaishnavas. Please bless me that I talk relevantly. I talk only according to Srila Prabhupada's words and Srila Guru Maharaj's words, and no words from my mental concoction arise. We'll start with Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanaatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru ShriyutapadaKamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gonangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam panghum langhayate girim Yatkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Paramanandam Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So we are in a very beautiful chapter. We have covered already 2 pastimes in this chapter. One is where the Supreme Lord eats from the hands of Shuklambar Brahmachari's cooking. So we saw beautifully how Shuklambar Brahmachari, he is a Brahmana beggar. So he's very anxious how to go about, how the Lord says, I'm going to come and have prasadam in your house. And Shuklambar Brahmachari is so panicked, but then with the reassurance of all the devotees, he cooks And Mother Lakshmi glances at the cooking. Her Supreme Lord is going to eat. So she takes care, and Mahaprabhu accepts that rice, and he says, I have never eaten such delicious food in my life. This is, of course, Mahaprabhu's mercy. And we saw this beautiful pastime. And following this, we saw the beautiful pastime of Vijayadasa. Vijayadasa was a student of Mahaprabhu. He was a copyist, a scribe, and how what a beautiful mercy he gets that while sleeping, Mahaprabhu puts his hand on Vijayadasa, and just by the touch of Mahaprabhu, Vijayadasa sees that hand as a beautifully bedecked hand, golden hand with jewels, and this causes ecstasy in him for 7 days. And this is one student of Mahaprabhu. Then we moved on to we are in the third pastime. Yesterday the pastime was started by Prabhuji. This is the other extreme of a student we see, where this student comes to Nimai Pandita's house, and he see our Mahaprabhu is sitting totally engrossed in the mood of Gopi and in the mood of Srimati Radharani, and he is calling out Gopi, Gopi. And this foolish student, he looks at Mahaprabhu and he says, Oh Nimai Pandita, what are you doing? Call out the name of Krishna. That is where piety is. And hearing this, Mahaprabhu becomes very angry. He takes a stick, chastises Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani, and he starts chasing this boy. And this boy is so scared for his life, he runs. Devotees come, hold Mahaprabhu, and they get him back. So that's where yesterday's class was stopped. We'll continue with today's verses from text 99. सब मेली स्थिर कराइले न प्रभु रे महाभये पडु या पालन गेल दूरे. As they all pacified the Lord, the student fearfully ran far away. So he kind of provoked Mahaprabhu and then he ran away. So this pastime is narrated in Chaitanya Charitamrita also. And I will not go into detail because it was covered in great detail yesterday. I will just read one purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, and we learn so much in this purport. It's a very small paragraph. This is to the verse where that boy says, why are you chanting the names Gopi, Gopi instead of the holy name of Lord Krishna, which is so glorious? What pious result will you achieve by such chanting? So for this, our Srila Prabhupada gives this purport. He says, it is said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigneha Na Bhujaya. No one can understand the activities of a pure devotee. A student or a neophyte devotee could not possibly understand why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting the names of gopis, nor should the student have asked the Lord about the potency of chanting Gopi Gopi. The neophyte student was certainly convinced of the piety and chanting of Krishna's holy name, but this sort of attitude is also offensive. Dharma vrata tyaga hutadi sarva shubha kriya samyam api pramadaha. To chant the holy name of Krishna in exchange for the achievement of piety is an offense. This is one of the offenses of the holy name. This, of course, was unknown to the student. Thus, he innocently asked, what piety is there in the chanting of the name Gopi? He did not know that there is no question of piety or impiety. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna or the holy name Gopi is on the transcendental platform of loving affairs. Since he was not an expert in understanding such transcendental activities, his question was merely impudent. So he did not understand the transcendental activities of our Supreme Lord. Thus Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, apparently greatly angry at him, reacted as follows. So here Prabhupada is giving various levels of mistakes which that boy did. Prabhupada says, first, he is assuming chanting Krishna's name as a pious activity. That is an offense. Then questioning the potency of chanting Gopi's name was his second offense. And third, even talking this way to your spiritual master is itself an offense. So this is what is pointed out in this purport, which is a very important lesson to me. And here, there is no question of piety or impiety in our transcendental bhakti yoga. Krishna says, Buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukrita dushkrite. The reactions of both good and bad activities, everything will go away when we start practicing devotional service. So that is to be understood, and that was not understood by this so-called student of the Supreme Lord himself. So keeping this as platform for today's verses, we'll continue today's verses. Text 100. Satvare chalila yatha paduyara gana sarva ange gharma swasha vahe ghane ghana. Breathing heavily, covered with perspiration, the student quickly joined his fellow students. Sambhrame jignase sabe bhayera karana ki jignasa aji bhagye rahila jivana. They all anxiously asked him why he was so frightened. And he replied, "Oh, don't ask. Today I'm lucky to still be alive." This is what he's saying, because he got chased by the Supreme Lord himself, who can run at the fastest speed. So he's saying, today I'm very lucky to still be alive. सबे बले बड़ साधु निमाई पंडिता देखिते गेला ना आमी ताहारा बड़ीता. Everyone says that Nimai Pandit is a great saint, so I went to see him in his house. Dekhila navasiya jape na se eyi nama ahanishi gopi gopi na bala ye ana. I saw he was sitting and chanting Gopi, Gopi, day and night. He is chanting only these names. Taheyami balilana kikara pandita Krishna Krishna balayena shastrera vihita. So I asked him, "O Pandita, what are you doing? Chant the name of Krishna as the scriptures have prescribed." एई वाक्य शुनि महाक्रोध अग्निहाया ठेंगा हाथे आमारे आई लखे दिया. On hearing my words, he burned with anger. He then picked up a stick and began to chase me. So he is totally not understanding the mood of Mahaprabhu here, and he is trying to say something which Mahaprabhu is not in the, Mahaprabhu, we can't go and tell a person in authority what to do first. And second, as Prabhuji explained very nicely yesterday, it is not that we should not take Krishna's names, but the mood in which Mahaprabhu was, that is what is being focused here. Krishnera o hailaya teka gala gali taha ara mukhe ami anite na pari. He also criticized Krishna with such filthy words that I am unable to repeat them. We heard these criticisms yesterday about how Mahaprabhu says, how he hid behind a tree and killed Vali, how he cut off the ears of a woman who came with desires to be with him. So this way, Mahaprabhu was totally in the mood of Srimati Radharani. We see the same, the very same verse in Srimati Radharani's Brahmara Gita also. So, but the student was not in the mood to appreciate the mood of his spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So he says, Raksha palana aji paramayu gune khahilana ai Aji Kara Vivarane. I was saved only by the will of destiny. This is what happened to me today. So he is saying how he was about to be beaten up, and this is how destiny saved him. So we'll see what the friends are saying among each other now. All the students. Shuniya hasaye saba mahamurkha gane balite lagila yara yenalaya mane. So on hearing that student's words, his foolish friends laughed and began to discuss their thoughts on the matter. के हबले भालत वैष्णव बल लोके ब्राह्मण लंघित आई सेना महाकोपे. One of them said, sorry, people call him a Vaishnava, but then why does he try to angrily beat a Brahmana? So is beating a Brahmana Vaishnava quality? That is what one of the genius students is asking. के हबले वैष्णवा बलिबा के माने कृष्ण है न नाम यदि न बले वदने. Another said, how can he be called a Vaishnava if he does not chant the name of Krishna? के हबले सुनीलाना अद्भुत आख्याना वैष्णवे जपये मात्र गोपी गोपी नाम. Someone else said, this is a strange story I'm hearing. A Vaishnava is chanting the name of a gopi? के हबले एतवा संभ्रम के न करी आमारा की ब्राह्मणेरा तेजा नहीं धारी. Yet another said, why should we be frightened? Don't we all possess the prowess of brahmanas? So they are saying we are also brahmanas. We also have lots of prowess. तेन्हो से ब्राह्मण आमारा की विप्र नाही तेन्हो मारी बेना आमारा के नाई वासही. He is a Brahmana, but aren't we also? If he attacks us, why should we tolerate it? राजा ताना है ना तेन्हो मारी बेना खेने आमारा ओ समवाया हावो सर्वजने. He is not a king that he can attack anyone. So Mahaprabhu is the king of all kings. He is the supreme proprietor of everything. And these foolish students are saying he is not a king that he can take a stick and hit us. We are also Brahmanas and we also have equal prowess as him. यदि तेन्हो मारीते धाये न पुनर्बारा आमारा सकल तबे न सही बे आरा. We should all stick together, and if he attacks us again, we will not tolerate it. तीन्हो नवद्वीपे जगन्नाथ मिश्र पूत आमारा ओ नाही अल्प मनुष्य सूता. He may be the son of Jagannath Mishra of Navadvipa, but we are not the sons of less important people. हेरा सबे पड़ी लाना काली तरसने आजी तीन्हो गोसाई वा हाई लखे माने. Remember, just recently we studied with him. Now see how he has become a Gosai. So unfortunately, very unfortunately, all these students were blaspheming the Supreme Lord. So we'll see the purport of His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada for this. Prabhupada has given a beautiful commentary. The frightened student approached his proud fellow students who were less intelligent like him and told them about Sri Gaurasundara's behavior. As a result, some of his fellow students said, well, we all studied together with Vishwambhara, so how can he suddenly become a liberated Mahabhagavata? He may be the son of Jagannath Mishra, but we are also the sons of learned persons like Jagannath Mishra. He is not a king who can avoid punishment. If he comes to punish us, we will punish him. Oh, this is totally offensive how their mind is going now. Like him, we are also sons of Brahmanas. If he comes to beat a Brahmana, why should we tolerate it? If someone accepts him as a superior to a Brahmana by calling him a Vaishnava, Then we should have heard the name of Krishna coming from his mouth as befitting a Vaishnava. On hearing the strange name Gopi coming from his mouth, no one will consider him a Vaishnava. The duty of a Vaishnava is to follow in the footsteps of a Brahmana. And here, Prabhupada Saraswati has put an exclamatory mark within a paragraph. Within a comma. That is, a Brahmana, a Vaishnava need not necessarily follow in the footsteps of a Brahmana. A Vaishnava has the qualities of a Brahmana and much more. So when a sincere seeker is accepted by a spiritual master and given the sacred thread, he becomes a Dvija, a twice born. He takes the second birth. That is the initiation which happens. And then he is eligible to study the Vedas. When he studies the Vedas completely and becomes well-versed, he becomes a Vipra. He becomes a qualified Brahmana. And then after he becomes a Vipra, he becomes self-realized. And then he becomes a Vaishnava. So Vaishnava is the topmost. Here, unfortunately, the students are confused with that. And therefore, since he became angry enough to beat a Brahmana, we can certainly understand that he is envious of Brahmanas. The mentality that sinful-minded people develop under the burden of these sinful activities has been current since time immemorial. So Prabhupada Saraswati is telling since time immemorial, loaded with sinful propensities, our mind makes us think these kind of really offensive thoughts. We can see examples of such hard-heartedness even today, Prabhupada Saraswati says. So here we are seeing how the students are totally misunderstanding the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada has told us several times about this. He's warned us how we should not misunderstand the Supreme Lord's position. The Supreme Lord himself says, Janma karma cha me divyam, Janma karma cha me divyam, evam yo veti tatvataha. So, one who knows about my appearance and activities, he knows in reality everything. He understands. He is fit enough to come back to me. Tyaktva deham punarjanma na iti. Maameti so Arjuna. So this is what the Supreme Lord says. We have to understand about his appearance and about his activities. So this is the instruction given by the Supreme Lord himself to us. And here we are seeing how the students are misunderstanding the Supreme Lord's activities, and they don't even know that it is the Supreme Lord. He is in his Satchidananda form. They don't seem to understand all that. So we will try to deal with this misunderstanding of the Supreme Lord under two sections. First, we will understand how it is to misunderstand the Supreme Lord's appearance. And second, we will go to see how it is to misunderstand the Supreme Lord's activities with various pastimes. So to understand the misunderstanding of the Supreme Lord, Lord's appearance, we will deal with two purports. One is 7.3, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatadamapi siddhanam kaschin mam veti tatvataha, Krishna says. So out of many thousands of men who achieve, out of many thousands of men, one may endeavor for perfection. And out of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So it is so difficult to understand the Supreme Lord. In fact, the essence of all the study of all the Vedas, the essence of studying all the Upanishads, everything is to understand him. So it is good we know how to understand him so that we can at least start the process. This is for me again, this instruction. So this purport, I'll pick here and there a few things which Prabhupada has said. Prabhupada begins this purport by saying, there are various grades of men, and out of many thousands, one may be sufficiently interested in transcendental realization to try to know what is self, What is the body? What is the absolute truth? Generally, mankind is simply engaged in animalistic propensities, namely eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. And hardly anyone is interested in transcendental knowledge. However, Krishna can be known only by persons who are in Krishna consciousness. Other transcendentalists may achieve impersonal Brahman realization, for this is easier than understanding Krishna. So here Prabhupada says impersonal Brahman realization is easier because it's so difficult to understand Krishna. Krishna is the supreme person, but at the same time, he is beyond the knowledge of Brahman and Paramatma. The yogis and jnanis are confused in their attempts to understand Krishna. Although the greatest of the impersonalists, Sripad Shankaracharya, has admitted in his Gita commentary that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, his followers do not accept Krishna as such. For it is very difficult to know Krishna even though one has transcendental realization of impersonal Brahman. So going up till the Brahman realization also, there is no way we can understand the supreme personality of Godhead. And then Prabhupada also says, it is not possible for the Brahman realized impersonalist or the Paramatma realized yogi to understand Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, as the son of Mother Yashoda or the charioteer of Arjuna. So to understand Krishna as Yashodanandana or as Parthasarathi, we need the shelter of a guru and start our bhakti yoga. Even the great demigods are sometimes confused about Krishna. Muhyanti yat surayaha. And Krishna says, Mam tu vedana kaschana. No one knows me as I am. So it is very difficult to know Krishna. So this is from 7.3. Then from Avajananti Ma Mudha, that is 9:11. Krishna says, Avajananti ma mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. So in the previous purport, Prabhupada made us understand how difficult it is to understand Krishna. Now he will address the topic of understanding the appearance of Krishna in this purport. So how is Krishna appeared? Krishna appears in his own original spiritual Satchidananda form. This is what we have to understand. He does not possess a material body like us. So this purport is so beautiful. Prabhupada says, there are many Ishwaras, controllers, and one appears greater than the other. In the ordinary management of affairs in the material world, we find some official or director, and above him there is a secretary. And above him there is a minister, and above him there is a president. Each of them is a controller, but one is controlled by another. And in the Brahma Samhita, it is said that Krishna is the supreme controller, Ishvara Parama Krishna. There are many controllers undoubtedly, both in the material and spiritual world, but Krishna is the supreme controller and his body is Satchidananda. It is non-material. Material bodies cannot perform the wonderful acts which the Lord performs. Although he is not a common man, the fools deride him and consider him to be a man. His body is called here Manushim because he is acting just like a man, a friend of Arjuna's, a politician involved in the battle of Kurukshetra. In so many ways, he is acting just like an ordinary man, but actually his body is Satchidananda Vigraha. Then in this purport, this is my favorite part where Prabhupada addresses about the scholars. He says, there are so many scholars and commentators of Bhagavad Gita who deride Krishna as an ordinary man. So this scholar, he's become a scholar. Why? Because of his previous good work. Right? Because of all his past karma, he gets this extraordinary birth with extraordinary intelligence. But then he has a poor fund of knowledge because he does not understand Krishna. Shri Krishna as Satchidananda Vigraha, he does not understand. Therefore, he is a mudha. This is Prabhupada's way of making us understand material knowledge is not sufficient for us. Then he says, foolish persons, however, cannot conceive that the personality of Godhead Krishna, appearing just like an ordinary man, can be the controller of all atoms and of the gigantic manifestation of the universal form. So the biggest and the minutest are beyond their conception. And so they cannot imagine that a form like that of a human being can simultaneously control the infinite and the minute. How profound is this statement? And then, so Prabhupada says he is controlling the minute, the atom, the minutest particle, my English may be wrong, the atom, and the biggest thing, the universe. Everything is controlled by him. But at the same time, then Prabhupada says, actually, although he is controlling the infinite and the finite, he is apart from all this manifestation. And that is his yogam aishwaram. So that is his most confidential knowledge. So his inconceivable transcendental energy, he can control both the infinite and the finite simultaneously and yet remain aloof from them. So this is such a beautiful purport, and by this Srila Prabhupada is making us understand about the appearance of the Supreme Lord, which hardly people know. Now we will get into some of the pastimes. So here, this is about the activities of the Supreme Lord, which is misunderstood. So this we thought we'll deal with at 3 levels again. So the activities of the Supreme Lord can be misunderstood at a very mundane level. The best example for this is the misunderstanding of a common man of the Supreme Lord performing his pastimes with the gopis, the Rasa Leela. So, and the second level is where there is a misunderstanding by a demigod, the topmost demigod. He's also a pure devotee. Any guesses? I'm not here to quiz anybody.
Brahma.
Yes, Mataji, Brahmaji, Brahma Vimohan Leela. And then the third level is we will see a very sweet transcendental misunderstanding. So let me deal with these two, then we'll go to the third one. So the first one is the mundane misunderstanding. So here, Shukadeva Goswami narrates the entire Rasa Leela pastime, and then towards the end, our Parikshit Maharaj asks certain questions by which we can understand the actual reasons of the Supreme Lord even performing this pastime. And so many things are clarified by Shukadeva Goswami. So Maharaj Parikshit asks, Krishna appeared on the earth to establish the regulative principles of religion and to curb the predominance of irreligion. But the behavior of Krishna and the gopis might encourage irreligious principles in the material world. I am simply surprised that he would act in such a way, enjoying the company of others' wives in the dead of night. So actually, Maharaj Parikshit is a very pure devotee. He saw the Supreme Lord in the womb of his mother itself. Prahlad Maharaj heard the glories of the Supreme Lord in the womb of his mother from a pure devotee, whereas Maharaj Parikshit saw the Supreme Lord in the womb of his mother. So he cannot ask such questions, but he is asking it for the benefit of some of the sages who were there who were not pure devotees, and also for the benefit of all of us in the future. So Maharaj Parikshit states a very beautiful words which Prabhupada in Krishna book deals word by word. So I will recite that verse. It is 10th canto, 33rd chapter, 28th verse. Maharaj Parikshit says, Aptakamo yadupate kritavan vai jugupsitam kim abhipraya etanna samshayam chindi subrita. O faithful upholder of vows, Please destroy our doubt by explaining to us what purpose the self-satisfied Lord, Aptakama, of the Yadus, Yadupati, had in mind when he behaved so contemptibly, so jugupsitam. It is so, it is not something which is taken in the material world. So now we will just deal with a few things here and there, how Shukadeva Goswami answers this. So the first one which Prabhupada is dealing with is, the word used here is aptakama. Some may take it for granted that Krishna was very lusty among young girls, but Parikshit Maharaj said this was not possible. He could not be lusty. First of all, from material calculation, he was only 8 years old. At that age, a boy cannot be lusty. Aptakama means that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is self-satisfied. Even if he were lusty, he doesn't need to take help from others to satisfy his lusty desires. The next point is that, although not lusty himself, he might have been seduced by the lusty desires of the gopis. But Maharaj Parikshit then uses another word, Yadupati, which indicates that Krishna is the most exalted personality in the dynasty of the Yadus. The kings in the dynasty of Yadu were considered to be the most pious, and their descendants were also like that. Having taken birth in that family, how could Krishna have been seduced even by the gopis? It is concluded, therefore, that it was not possible for Krishna to do anything abominable. But Maharaja Parikshit was in doubt as to why Krishna acted in that way, what was the real purpose. So this words being explained, we'll see what answers Shukadeva Goswami gives. So Shukadeva Goswami immediately replied that transgressions of religious principles by the Supreme Controller testify to his great power. For example, fire can consume any abominable thing. That is the manifestation of the supremacy of fire. Similarly, the sun can absorb water from a urinal or from stool, and the sun is not polluted. Rather, due to the influence of that sunshine, the polluted, contaminated place becomes disinfected and sterilized. So, someone in power, they cannot transgress religious principles. One may also argue that since Krishna is the supreme authority, his activities should be followed. So, we have to follow Krishna. Some people can say that. So, for this, what is our Shukadeva Goswami saying? Shukadeva Goswami says, it is very clear that Ishvara or Supreme Controller may sometimes violate his own instructions, but this is possible only for the controller, not for his followers. Unusual and uncommon activities by the controller can never be imitated. So Prabhupada, here Srila Prabhupada says, a person can falsely claim to be Supreme Lord and he can exhibit these lusty pastimes, but can he go lift Govardhana hill? Or so it is like imitating Lord Shiva drinking poison. Lord Shiva drank an ocean of poison, but he kept them in his throat, and therefore he was called Nilakantha. But if an ordinary person tries to imitate that, he will die. So there is no way we can imitate the Supreme Lord. And then the third reason which Shukadeva Goswami gives is, most of the gopis in their previous lives were great sages, expert in the study of Vedas, and when Lord Krishna appeared as Lord Ramachandra, they wanted to enjoy him and enjoy with him, and Lord Ramachandra gave them the benediction that their desires would be fulfilled when he appears as Krishna. That is one. And then Shukadeva Goswami says, one should know with certainty that Krishna had no personal interest in whatever he did for the benediction of the gopis. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Namam karmani limpanti. Krishna never enjoys or suffers the results of his activities. So this is also that foolish student was saying, what piety will you get out of calling out the names of gopis. You will get piety when you call out Krishna's names. So here Prabhupada is saying Krishna never enjoys or suffers the results of any of his activities. There is no piety or impiety for him. Therefore, it is not possible for him to act irreligiously. He is transcendental to all religious duties and principles. He is untouched by the modes of material nature. He is the supreme controller. And he has nothing to do with the material nature, and he has nothing to do with religious or irreligious principles. So, and finally, one point which Shukadeva Goswami says is, another important point is, none of the gopis who danced with Krishna were in their material bodies. They were all with their spiritual bodies. And we are all part and parcel of Krishna. So where is there any discrepancy, Shukadeva Goswami asks. This is the mundane level of misunderstanding. We go to the second part, which is the demigod level, that is our Brahma Vimohan Leela. This I will not deal with in detail. We all know this pastime. I'll just say one thing, that we know how Brahmaji stole the calves and cowherd boys, and then Krishna expands himself and as these calves and cowherd boys and gives immense pleasure to their mother and father for 1 year. And then Brahmaji comes back and he is bewildered. At that time, Krishna reveals the Vishnu forms of all these expansions. All the calves and the cowherd boys, they show their Vishnu Murtis. But still, Brahmaji was perplexed. They showed their beautiful form of the entire Vishnu Murti, but still, Brahmaji, who has full control over the goddess of learning, and who is considered to be the best authority of Vedas, he was perplexed. Then Lord Krishna, taking compassion on Brahma, he pulled off his curtain of Yoga Maya, and only then Brahmaji's perplexity was removed. So even the topmost demigod, Brahmaji, who is the most intelligent creature, even he can get perplexed and misunderstand the Supreme Lord. And only when the Lord desired, that misunderstanding was removed for him. Now we will go to the third level, which is a transcendental misunderstanding. This happened in the pastime of Mother Rukmini Devi. So Mother Rukmini, we all know, is the goddess of fortune herself. And one day, the Lord Krishna is in her palace. It's a very beautiful palace. And he is being served by Mother Rukmini along with all the maid servants. At that time, Krishna sees Mother Rukmini very sincerely, very gravely serving her Lord. And then he remembers that Mother Rukmini was given a Parijata flower by Narada Muni. And seeing this, Satyabhama becomes very angry, very jealous. And she demands the Supreme Lord to do something more for her. And the Supreme Lord gets the entire Parijata tree for her from the heavenly planets. And then Krishna was expecting that Mother Rukmini will demand something, some counter demand will come from her. But Mother Rukmini, being very grave, very happy with her service, she didn't even bother about all these things. So Krishna is, of course, happy with that mood, but he wants to jokingly tease Mother Rukmini. So he says a few things. I will come to what the few things he said in a little bit detail, but he basically says that he is a very unfit suitor for Mother Rukmini. He says, I don't possess anything. I am actually, Shishupala was such a better suitor for you. And you should have, actually you made a very wrong choice, Rukmini. You should have gone with him. He would have served you so nicely. He would have always been there serving you. See, now you have to serve me. And I'm not a good husband too. You should reconsider your thought. Even now it's not late. You can go back. So this way Krishna taunts her, expecting something angry from Mother Rukmini. But how is Mother Rukmini's mood? She misunderstands the mood of the Supreme Lord here. But this we cannot equate to any of the other pastimes which I said. So here she becomes afraid of being separated from her Supreme Lord. She became perplexed with fear of separation. Her heart began to palpitate. She simply cried in great anxiety, as if drowning in an ocean of grief. She got choked up in great anxiety. She stood still like a stick. And due to extremely painful fear and lamentation, she lost all power of reason and became weak. Her body became light. Her brain and memory became puzzled, and she lost consciousness. Mother Rukmini just fell down. She was there. She had taken the chamara from the maidservant, and she was herself fanning the Supreme Lord. And when she heard all these things from the Supreme Lord, she could not control her grief. She thought that the Supreme Lord is going to leave her now, and she faints. She loses her consciousness. The Lord, at that moment, he understands that Queen Rukmini had not taken his words in a joking spirit, and he, of course, he showers his love on her, and he pacifies her. The Supreme Lord showers his love on every jiva, and this is his consort, his eternal consort. So he pours out his love to her and he consoles her. At that time, Mother Rukmini, being a very, very intelligent person, she gives reply to all the statements which Krishna makes. These are so beautiful. I will go in a very short way, respecting everybody's time. So the first statement which Krishna makes is, he says, in comparison to Shishupala, I am nothing. I am inferior. In fact, I'm inferior to all the princes who had come to marry you. So in response to this, Mother Rukmini says, yes, it is not possible for me or for any of those kings to come to an equal level with you. She twists it. She says, you are the reservoir of all qualities, the unlimited supreme personality of Godhead. How can I be a fit match for you? There is no possibility of comparison with you, who are the master of all greatness, the controller of the three qualities, and the object of worship for great demigods like Brahma and Shiva. She says, you are that, and she calls herself a product of the three modes of material nature. Mother Rukmini is not a product of the three modes of material nature, but then she says, yes, we are all not equal to you. He is asamurdhva. She brings that. Then the second point which Krishna makes is, he says, oh, I was afraid of Jarasandha. That is why I came running, got all my relatives, and I constructed this palace under the sea so that we can all be safe here away from Jarasandha. I did not have the courage to go fight Jarasandha, he says. So she says, yes, my lord, you have taken shelter in the water of the sea as if you were afraid of the kings. But who are the kings of this material world? I do not think that the royal families are the kings of the material world. The kings of the material world are the three modes of material nature who are actually its controllers. And you are situated in the core of everyone's heart, where you remain completely aloof from the touch of the three modes of the material nature. So she says it's not Jarasandha or somebody who are the kings. It is the three modes which are actually the kings of this material nature. And you are sitting in the core of everybody's heart, but you are untouched by material nature. That is why you are hiding yourself in the sea, she says. Then the third point which Krishna makes is, he says, all great kings are inimical to me. In fact, I have brought this enmity by myself. I have gone and fought with these kings, and now they're all my enemies. So she says, yes, you have enmity with the worldly kings, but who are these worldly kings? I think they are the senses. They are most formidable and they control everyone. Certainly, you maintain enmity with these material senses. You are never under the control of senses. Rather, you are the controller of senses. You are Rishikesha. Then he says, O Rukmini, the fourth point which Krishna makes us, he says, I have no royal power. I might be sitting on the throne, but I don't have any royal power. Ugrasena is the king. You are not married to a king, he says. So for that, she says, yes, you are bereft of all royal power, my dear Lord. Not only are you bereft of supremacy over the material world, but even your servants, those who have some attachment to your lotus feet, also give up the supremacy over the material world because they consider the material position to be the darkest region which checks the progress of spiritual enlightenment. She says, yes, you don't have any royal power. You don't have supremacy over the material world. What you, even your devotees, don't have any, they don't want anything material, she says. And then the fifth point which Krishna makes is, I am not fixed, I don't have a fixed aim in life. Okay. So for this, Mother Rukmini says, yes, you do not act as an ordinary person with a particular aim in life. Even your great devotees and servants, who are great sages and saintly persons, they remain in such a state that no one can get any clue of their aims of lives. Great saints and sages, we don't understand them. For a common man, he will wonder why Prabhupada at the age of 70 left the comforts of Vrindavan and came to this US to struggle so much, right? We don't understand them. We don't understand. So she says, yes, even your devotees, your servants, they will appear as though they don't have a fixed aim in life. So, and she says, a contaminated human being cannot even imagine the pastimes of you and your devotees, O unlimited one, when the activities and endeavors of your devotees remain a mystery to the common man. How can your motives and endeavors be understood by them? So this is what she says. Then Krishna says, I am not very polished. I don't have social etiquette. I don't behave well with all my wives. I have 16,108 wives. Some person will be pleased with just one wife. I have so many wives. Yet I don't keep them happy, all this. This Mother Rukmini chooses to ignore, I think, because she goes to the next one, where the Lord has addressed himself as penniless. He says, in fact, when a person becomes penniless, he may get attracted to me. So Mother Rukmini says, yes, you have described yourself as penniless. Since there is nothing in existence but you do not need to possess anything. You yourself are everything. Unlike others, you do not require to purchase anything extraneously. You do not possess anything, but no one is richer than you. Since your lordship is absolute, you can adjust the contradictions of possessing nothing, but at the same time being the richest. Then she says how the richest sections of human society, they do not worship him. They do not. They are running behind material power and one second, I got a message from my son saying his exam got cancelled. Just a second, Mataji. I'm so sorry. Just a second. Please forgive me, Mataji. I'm so sorry. So she says, yes, even the rich people who have money, they cannot worship you, and you are akinchana gochara. You are the property of beggars. And she says, who are these beggars? They are exalted devotees, liberated personalities, and those in the renounced order of life. They are all great souls and devotees who have no other business than to glorify you. And then she says, my dear husband, do not think that I accepted you as my husband out of my inexperience. I followed all these great souls. I followed the path of these great beggars and decided to surrender my life unto your lotus feet. So this was Mother Rukmini. First, she misunderstood the Supreme Lord, but then she is such an intelligent person. She gave all these beautiful answers to the Supreme Lord. Now we'll quickly finish the rest of the verses. This is text 118. एई मत युक्ति करी लेना पापी गणा जानी लेना अंतर्यामी श्री सच्चिनंदना. In this way, the sinful students made a plan. They thought they will counteract the Supreme Lord. So this was understood by Sri Sachinandana, who is the super soul. एक दिन महाप्रभु आचे नवसिया चतुर्थी के सकल पार्षद गण लाइला. One day Mahaprabhu was sitting in the midst of his associates. एक वाक्य अद्भुत बलिला आचंबिता केहा ना बुझिला अर्थ सबे चमकीता. Suddenly he spoke something strange which no one could understand. They were all struck with wonder. खरीला पिपली खंडा कफ निवारीते उलटिया आरो कफ बाडीला देहेते. I made the medicine Pippali Khanda to clear excess mucus. But instead of clearing the mucus in the body, it has created more mucus. So the Supreme Lord is getting has come to give the topmost form of bhakti to us. But I'll read Srila Prabhupada Saraswati's purports here and there. He says, the Supreme Lord says, I made an attempt to preach to the suffering living entities of this world a truth that has never before been revealed. But rather than accepting this, they took the heavy burden of offense on their shoulders. I wanted to preach for their eternal benefit, but they have not understood my intention and seem to have become bewildered. So they are opposing the preaching of pure devotional service. So he got a medicine to cure a disease, but that medicine is causing more disease. This is how the Supreme Lord is thinking. So in a very cryptic way, he said, I got a medicine to cure excess mucus, but it is causing more mucus in the body now. So this was said by the Supreme Lord. So he is here laying down the platform for taking up sannyasa. So text 122. बलियटहसे सर्वलोकनाथा कारण न भुजि भय जन्मिला सबata. After saying this, the Lord of all, Sarva Lokanatha, he laughed loudly. The devotees could not understand why he was laughing and became anxious. नित्यानंद भुजी लेना प्रभुर अंतर जानी लेना प्रभु शीघ्र छाड़ी वेना घर. Nityananda understood the Lord's plan. He understood the Lord will soon leave home. Shachimata and Mother Vishnupriya will be aggrieved. Nityananda Prabhu is understanding that. Vishadeha ila maghna Nityananda Raya Hai Basanyasi Rupa Prabhu Sarvathaya. Lord Nityananda became absorbed in lamentation as he realized that the Lord would certainly take sannyasa now. He is understanding the Lord's mood and he's seeing, yes, the Lord has come mainly to give prema, that unnata ujjvala, to all the most fallen, most undeserving, right? So the Lord is deciding to take sannyasa so that he can do it. And then the last verse, E sundara keshera haiba antaradhana dukhe nityanandera vikala haila prana. Thinking that the Lord would shave off his beautiful hair, Nityananda became agitated with distress. So the Lord's beautiful curly hair, curly locks of that hair, so that will go away now. So thinking that way, Nityananda Prabhu became agitated with distress. So just a very short note on the Supreme Lord's hair. So this is from Nectar of Devotion. At the end of Krishna's Pauganda age, that is 6 to 10 is Pauganda, so towards 10-year-old, our 10-year-old Krishna, how does he look? Just his hair. Krishna's hair sometimes hangs to his hips and sometimes it becomes scattered. And when his beautiful hair scatters over his shoulders, it appears as though a goddess of fortune is embracing him. And looking at this, all the cowherd boys, they relish that picture so much. And then in Srimad Bhagavatam, in third canto, it's right, the Lord's beautiful face is adorned with curly black hair with a bluish tint. So his beautiful face is compared to a lotus, and the curly black hair which is around his face is compared to humming bees. Okay, and then his lotus-like eyes, they are compared to a pair of swimming fish, and his eyebrows are dancing. So this is how beautiful our Supreme Lord is, with his beautiful locks of hair. And from there to a very different way of description of the Supreme Lord's hair, of our Narsingha Deva's hair. The Narsingha Deva appeared from the pillar, that ferocious, angry Narsingha Deva, and he has just killed Hiranyakashipu. How was his hair? His hair on Narsimha Deva's head, they shook the clouds and scattered them here and there. Airplanes were thrown into outer space and upper planetary systems by the hair on Narsimha Deva's body. So this is our Narsimha Deva's hair. And of course, our Varaha Deva, when he comes, lifts Mother Earth, puts her in his position, he comes out, he's wet, and then he shakes himself, and the hair which falls from his body, they give rise to Kushagras, which is used to begin the sacrifice. So with this, we end today's verses. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Matajis, for your patient listening. And please correct all the mistakes I made and share your own realizations. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji. Hari 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 Bol. What a wonderful class. As I was expecting that your classes always will be filled with nice pastimes. So even though we hear many times, but still when we hear it from you, it is again relishing, Mataji. So thank you so much for bringing it, and for each and everything you made a good connection. Like you were saying about the transcendental, what is it?
Rukmini Devi.
Yeah, Rukmini Devi, and then misunderstanding, right? So transcendental misunderstanding, and then demigods misunderstanding. So you got of Brahmaji, and yeah, so nice, Mataji. Very good. Devotees, any realizations or questions?
No questions, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Mataji. Very nice class, very interesting. And thank you for making those different connections about three different sections of people having misunderstandings of the Lord. And of course, common people like us, we doubt the Lord in so many ways. Like you mentioned, when he performs Ras Leela, there are so many questions, and how mercifully Parikshit Maharaj asked on our behalf. And then even demigods can get confused about the Lord's activities. And finally, even the Supreme Lord's consort is sometimes bewildered. But then I like the point that she is far more intelligent than anyone can fathom.
Yes, Mataji. That's why I think I took a little extra time with that. It was too tempting to not talk about Mother Rukmini's answers.
Very nice class, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Mataji, thank you for all your help. Without your help, I can't do this. So thank you.
Prahladananda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dandra Pranam Mataji. As always, your lectures are so erudite. And, with a lot of very nice different references. So that enriches our knowledge about Lord Sri Krishna, which is so good. And as you were mentioning about knowing Lord Sri Krishna Tattvataha, the series you mentioned was that Manushyanam Sahasresu Kaschid Yatati Siddhayata Tamabhisavaka. And then he says, Janma Karma Chamayavam Devam Vetti Tattvata. And then finally in 18th chapter he says, Bhaktya Mama Vijanati Yavan Yasyasmi Tattvata. So in Bhaktya also, there is says, how do I know that Lord Krishna is pleased with me? And how do I know him, whether I have known him? Then Kathopanishad, I think it says that, Nayam Atma Parvachanena Labhyo, Na Bhedjana Bahuna Srutena. Yainesa Vivrunate Tena Labhya, Tainesya Vivrunate Tanum Swam. So when Lord Krishna is pleased, that's where he will decide, okay, I'll give this person the real knowledge about me. And because we are all materially contaminated, we cannot pursue that atas Krishna namadina bhavet graham. So when we do sincere bhakti, Prabhupada always specifies two words about bhakti. One is sincere, the other is serious. These two words of bhakti, if one can does that, and then probably Lord Krishna will not withhold himself, and he will reveal himself to us. That's what kind of realization. Also, I realized that when we are doing Krishna Katha, Lord Krishna doesn't want us to neglect our other duties towards our dependents also. That's why your son called and Lord Krishna.
Apologize, Prabhu. He has his exams going and he messaged saying it got cancelled completely.
No. You are a mother. Your mother is a complete symbol of something known as prolactin. You know what is that prolactin? That's a hormone in your brain, all right? And that's our prime duty. All people have mother as the first guru, So
Sorry, very mundane.
that's what Lord Krishna wanted to remind us. He is here with us. Every time we are discussing him, he is very much with us. Tatra tisthami narada yatra gayanti madbhakta. He has promised that. So with this satsangas, we really feel very elated because we lift ourselves to a little higher than our Dehatma Buddhi. And then that's how we feel this transcendental pleasure, that. So this was very nice, Mata. And thank you very much for your kind giving us Krishna Katha. Haribo.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you. And when you spoke about the two phrases, seriousness and sincerity, recently we had His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodar Maharaj here. And Maharaj was also the second class he gave. That was the topic Maharaj spoke. Maharaj took Dhruva Maharaj Charitra. And he was relating to how seriousness, what exactly is seriousness and what is sincerity, Maharaj was. When you said those two words, it was reinforcing, Prabhu. Thank you so much for highlighting.
Then Pranam Mata.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prahlad and Prabhu. I just wanted to say, whenever you talk, Prabhu, it's like, I don't know whether you speak or you just walk on the verses. So for each and every word, you have a verse, Prabhu. So that's really very amazing. So a person who's just doing his, whatever he preaches, whatever, and he walks on the same path can speak like this. So thank you so much for your association, Prabhu. And very nice realization also, Prabhu.
That's mercy of all the devotees, Mata, and especially Prabhupada Maharaj mercy. We should never think that it is my ability. No, it's always coming from Guru's mercy. Otherwise, I know who am I and who I was. And, everybody should know what is his limitations, and that's how we can always be grateful to Sri Prabhupada. Prabhupada is the one who changed my life. I was worse than kind of Jagai Madai guy. I used to do all nonsenses, doing this DNCs on women and all that kind of thing. So, it is somehow or other, because of some Agna Sukruti or whatever, we come in touch with great soul like Sri Prabhupada. I just read one article in Back to Godhead magazine, and that changed my life. So this is how it's our duty now to spread Sri Prabhupada's message to XYZ like that. Thank you, Mata, again. Haribol.
Haribol. Thank you, Mata. Thank you, Prabhu. Anitha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to your service Mataji. What a beautiful class, very beautiful Mataji. I really like all the pastimes that you have shared and how you are seeing, understanding Vedas means understanding Krishna, as Bhagavad Gita sloka says, Sarvasya Shaham Vriddhi Sannivisyo Mattasmriti Gnanam Apohanam Cha Vedesya Sarvim Ahameva Vedyo Vedanta Krit Veda Videha Chaham. So that sloka I was remembering when you were telling, I am the knower of the Vedas. So it's understand that Krishna is the supreme. So I was thinking how pretty those devotees who were trying to be mean to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They're very good in all those readings and were able to read everything, but they were not able to understand that he is the Supreme Lord. Of course, that is Krishna, that is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela to keep them in that darkness. But he did not keep everybody like that, who were really devoted to him, who were really pure in their heart. They were able to see him that he is the supreme, right? So I was thinking, okay, if I'm in that position, will I be also complaining about him like that? But again, I understood that, okay, if I am really devotee of Krishna, maybe I would never see him like that. I would understand that he is like definitely something different than us. He's in topmost level. If Krishna would give me that intelligence of understanding that he is the Lord himself, then I would have definitely seen, right? So I was thinking, okay, I don't know, Atiji. Like it's a pastime, right? Putting them in that situation of not understanding who he is. Yeah, I was feeling.
That's their karma also, right? That's all their
Yeah,
limitation was.
that's all their limitation. Like maybe their bhakti was not to that extent to understand him.
Because
Yeah.
same pastime, like that's what I felt like when I was reading. Like Vijay Dasa, which who was covered, like he received so much of mercy from Mahaprabhu, so much of mercy. One more student of Mahaprabhu, right? And immediately this student who didn't understand his glories, but still Mahaprabhu
Yeah,
showing compassion to him and saying, because of these people, I'm going to take sannyasa and come.
yeah. So that's what
And
I'm saying, Mataji. Like because they are not in pure devotion, so much of love for Krishna, they don't have. That's why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not allow them to see who he is. Like
yes,
this Vijay Dasa was having that much of devotion, so he got that. And even that Sukhi, Dukhi became Sukhi. How all these devotees are getting that much? See, because they have that purity in them, and that the devotional service that they have done is showing them path to Krishna, bringing them closer to Krishna. They were able to see that. Yeah, and the same way, like when we come to bhakti, also, like we will be able to understand our guide, senior guidance only because some piety we have gained by chanting or just simply following. So that's when our eyes are really open. Okay, what they're saying, let us follow. That's when we start following, and then we come closer to Krishna. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, just was thinking when you compared with these three different levels, it's very nice to introspect where we stand and why we are standing there. Why, how can we go raise ourselves up? Such a beautiful class, Mataji. I really like that three level of understanding. Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. Haribol. Sorry for taking long time. I really like the class, Mataji. Haribol.
thank you, Mataji. I do not have
Mm.
any intelligence, mercy of devotees and Srilam Guru Maharaj. That is all, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vinita Mataji. So I was remembering when Vinita Mataji was saying, Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam priti purvagam dadami buddhi yogam tam. So it's only Krishna who, when he wants, he will reveal himself to the person, whether he is good or bad, no matter who is. But if he wants, he will open himself to the person. So I was just remembering that when Vinita Mataji was conversing this thing. So thank you so much, Vinita Mataji, and thank you so much, Chinmayi Mataji. Devotees, any more questions or realizations? I do not see any hand raised, Mataji. Hari Bol. Okay, we are having Harita Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All Guru Shri Srila Prabhupada. It's very beautiful class, Mataji. Yeah, it's already all the points have been told by our dear devotees. I just want to say that I feel that feel in you, Mataji. When you tell, I see exactly that feeling that what Mahaprabhu is feeling and all. And that brings us into that mood to listen to the Katha, Mataji. Literally, the way you show that interest and enjoyment in telling the story will also bring us into that mood to listen very nicely and concentratingly. And thank you, Mataji. Like there is no, like through your like this pastime, we can say that there is no difference between like Gopi and Krishna. Like we can tell Gopi, we can tell Krishna, because Gopi is the dearest devotee, right? We can think like that, Mataji. Like dearest devotee of Gopis are the dearest devotees of Krishna.
That
That's
is,
why Mahaprabhu is.
these are the dearest devotees of Krishna. In fact, Krishna holds them very high. But we, as being in a very, very mundane platform, and we don't need to do all that. We can just chant Hare Krishna, which has been given to us by our spiritual master, by our senior devotees, and stick to that, Mataji. That's
Yeah,
my
but
opinion.
yeah, but we should not take it any other way also when somebody is like talking about like they are appreciating the gopis, or like they are grateful to the gopis, like the service they have done to Lord.
Mataji, of course, gopis are to be respected. Of course, gopis are to be worshipped. But we at our level, at least I at my level, um, needs to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which has been given, and limit myself to that. Through that, I can go up. And even
Elevate to
what
that
is
level.
the prayer I ask when I chant?
Mhm.
Please engage me in your loving devotional service. So we have to serve first before think of calling out gopi or getting into bhav. Then we might just get that sentiment, and we might not have the like Prabhupada always says, right? What is that? Religion without philosophy will become a sentiment, and
Okay.
philosophy without religion will just be dry speculation. So both should not be done. So we need to back up with our reading. Then as we progress, by the mercy, we will get those feelings. That's my understanding, Mataji. Senior devotees can answer.
Yeah, sure, Mataji, sure, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thanks a lot, Mataji, for the beautiful class. Hare Bol.
Very nice. So thank you so much, Shamadaji. We don't see any more hand raise or questions in the chat box. And thank you so much for your very, very nice smiling face also, Mataji, throughout the class. So with your permission, we'll end the call here, Mataji. Devotees, let's pay our obeisances to Mataji. Manchakalpatrupashe kripa sindhu pevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Her grace Chinmayi Vrajapriya Smiling Mataji ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Srila
Hare
Prabhupada,
Krishna.
glories to Srila Guru Maharaj, all glories to all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Thank you.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.